Hello and welcome back again. As I do every year, I've been keeping inventory of all the stuff and parts of my game collection. So far this year I haven't went over my N64 collection, and I think I originally did it in January or February last year. So I'm a bit overdue. I usually try to do it about a full year apart. I've been busy with a couple of things this year, so I haven't got around to doing it. I thought about doing it at the end of June or early July, but then I realized today's the 25th anniversary of the N64 launching. Now some of you might be confused by that statement, because depending on your region it was launched at a different date. The first Dreamcast launch was in Japan on June 23rd, 25 years ago from today, so that's the day I decided to record this. It might not be uploaded till tomorrow, so I might be a day late. But I figured I'd go through my entire collection again. What I planned to do before was just do an update of stuff that I added, so we'll just start with the main N64 itself. I got this one from my friend after my house burnt down, so this is the closest thing to my N64 from my childhood that I can get. I do not remember the naming mechanic of all the transparent controller colors. It came with a standard composite cable, and he also got the bundle with the purple controller. I think it's called Jungle Purple or something like that. So the biggest addition to my collection is an Everdrive 64. I was able to get this version 2.5 for relatively cheap compared to how much they go for. And for those that don't know, this is a flash cart. So basically what you do is you load the game ROMs up onto an SD card or another flash media. For this one, it uses micro SD. You plug it in and it lets you play the games on real hardware. My main purpose for this isn't really to bootleg games, it's more to play actual prototypes, demos, or homebrew or ROM hacks on actual hardware. Now I only have 3 other controllers for this. Unfortunately I haven't really found any loose that were in good condition at all. So I'm just sticking with that. I got 2 different transparent colors in the black one. This is the primary one I use for the moment, because the gray one's joystick's kind of messed up and I haven't bothered replacing it. Then I have a few different Game Sharks. I got version 3.0 and then 3.2. And I also have version 3.3 complete in box still from my childhood. Speaking of Game Sharks, I got a Dex Drive complete in box. For those that don't know, this would let you connect your N64 memory card to a computer in the 90s through a serial port on the back of it. And then you could basically upload different game saves from your memory card onto your computer. Now the software for this doesn't work on modern computers really. At least I don't remember it working last time I tried it on Windows 10. But if you have a virtual machine or another device, you can get it to go. I don't recall where I found this, but this is an N64 controller to PlayStation controller adapter. I haven't tried using it yet, but I'll probably do that soon. Then I have official jumper pack. For those that don't know, this pretty much acts as a placeholder until you get the expansion pack, which has 4 MB of RAM if I recall correctly. And I also have the little nudge thing to get it out. And these aren't as useful anymore. Here are the RF adapters from Nintendo. For those that don't know, the output for the AV on the N64, the Super Nintendo, and GameCube are basically the same. And this allows you to connect an RF device, like packaged with the NES or the Super Nintendo, and plug it into an older television. What I really use these for is when I hook them up to a Watchman. For those of you that don't know, the N64's max output in the North American version without any mods is S-Video. So I picked up an official Nintendo S-Video cable. Unfortunately, the North American version without mods will not do RGB out, so I can't really use a SCART cable for it at all. And I have no plans on modding my original N64 from my childhood. I have 2 memory cards, or controller packs as they're known, for the N64. Only certain games use this. Evidently, if a company didn't want to pay the extra money for a save battery, this would be mandatory. For those who know it, this is a speaking unit. I think the only game in North America that ever used this was Hey You Pikachu. And obviously I got this because I have Hey You Pikachu. Unfortunately, finding the little plastic thing that lets you clip the mic onto the N64 controller is rather difficult. Last time I checked, just the plastic snap thing itself cost about $150 on eBay, and I don't know of anybody that makes a 3D printing alternative to that. I'm also missing the little sponge thing that covers up the mic. I could have swore I had more than 1 Rumble Pack, but it looks like I only have 1 in my inventory at the moment. Then here's a transfer pack. For those that don't know, a few Game Boy and Game Boy Color games could be connected and would have link features with certain N64 titles, such as Pokemon Stadium connecting to the first-gen Pokemon titles. It looks like that covers all the hardware. I have picked up a few official pieces of clothing, such as this hat. I probably won't wear it until I review an N64 title. I picked up this shirt at Target. It's a t-shirt. And this t-shirt was gifted me a while ago, and I thought I had a sweater somewhere. It might be packed away. And since I don't have enough space, we're going to go into the games, and I kind of cleared this off. Since I don't have enough space for my entire collection, I cleared off that desk, and we're going to go to the games next. So I picked up a Japanese copy of Star Fox 64 sometime after someone that I knew kind of went behind me and got the Korean copy off of another friend, unfortunately. But while I was out about last year, I picked up this Japanese copy, relatively complete in box. So now I have two copies, kinda. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them. I might try to sell the spare one. I'll figure it out. Actually, before we go through all the games, I have a couple manuals, some of them loose. An N64 generic manual, the Hybrid Heaven manual, Bomberman Hero, I still have my copy of that. This is my Majora's Mask manual, I still have that copy. Bug's Life Instruction, I don't think I have that game. War Gods, I don't think I have that game yet either. I don't have Roadsters yet, I think. And then I think this is a Turok manual, or it's just a promotion for Extreme G2. 1080 Snowboarding, I do have that game. I got this manual separate. Another 1080 Snowboarding manual. Blast Corps, I still need to pick up that title. Madden, Lamborghini manual. Toy Story 2 manual. Fox Sports College Hoops. Tarzan instruction booklet. Madden 2000, Madden 99. I actually have those titles. Rugrats Scavenger Hunt, I might have that. Killer Instinct Gold. While I'm at it, here's the only N64 player's guide that I still kind of have. It is the player's guide for Majora's Mask. It's kind of beat up and it's falling apart a little bit, but I don't really want to part with it. Just like my actual copy of the game, this is one of the original collector's editions, which are actually easier to find than the non-collector's editions. Unfortunately, the plastic on these get brittle, so sometimes the little parts that hold the back on break. Nothing's really missing, it's just the plastic parts that clip it together break. Oh, and a former co-worker sold me this about a year or so ago. It is a promotional VHS for the N64. I do want to track down the other one of these, but for now, this is pretty neat. I don't think I had this one as a kid, I had one of the other ones. Star Fox 64. Jet Force Gemini. Win Back. One of my favorite titles for the system, Mischief Makers. Another favorite title of mine from when I was young, Star Wars Rogue Squadron, and for those that don't know, Factor 5 back in the day actually made their own N64 audio drivers. That's one of the reasons why the audio in this game is rather immaculate for its time. Aero Fighter's Assault, this is actually one of the first N64 games I got to play in the launch year of the title. We used to rent this from a local place nearby. I don't remember the name of the place. And then F-Zero X, I gotta clean off this copy that I have and kind of peel off these stickers, but besides that, it's good. And over the last year, I finally picked up another copy of Super Mario 64. I actually haven't re-picked up a copy of this since I lost the one from my childhood in the fire. I finally picked up Mario Tennis in the last year as well. And I'm not sure in the last video if I went over it, but I started picking up some Japanese titles. So here's Mario Kart 64, the Japanese release. It's kind of weird, they refer to the games as cassettes on the back instead of cartridges. I'm going to go through the sports games relatively quick because they're not as important or interesting to me. Madden. I got 2 copies of NASCAR 99. Fox Sports College Hoops, I do have a copy of that. NFL Quarterback Club 2000. NFL Quarterback Club 2001. 99. Madden 99. Madden 2002. Madden 64, which isn't a year, it's just the first 64 title. F1 World Grand Prix. Here's a title I actually have some interest in. Wave Race 64. I also picked up Pilot Wings 64 finally. This is one of the earlier games. I believe it's a launch title. And it works kind of like a tech demo for the N64 as well. Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey. I finally picked this up. This is actually one of my favorite games as a kid. It's Beetle Adventure Racing. It was kind of a promotional game, but kind of not. It's a kart racer. Well, it's not a kart racer. It's like an arcade-style racer where you race around what was then the brand new Beetles. Then here's my only complete in-box game, Perfect Dark. I actually bought this brand new sealed back in 2008, I think, for about 20 bucks, so that was nice. Here's Armorine's Project Swarm. That's a first-person shooter. GoldenEye 007. Hybrid Heaven. This was originally going to be a port of Metal Gear Solid to the N64, but they made its own game. I'll probably have to play through this sometime fully. WCW vs. NWO World Tour. Hey, it's my copy of Hey You Pikachu. Dark Rift. Bomberman Hero. I definitely like the soundtrack on this one. It deviates from the Bomberman formula quite a bit, but not as in a terrible way like Zach Zero did. Bomberman 64, and what I would give to get Bomberman 64 the Second Attack back. That was one of the games I lost in the fire. It's on one of my lists of titles I really want for the N64 back. Mission Impossible, Body Harvest, and for those that don't know, the people that end up making Grand Theft Auto 3 worked on this title, if I recall correctly. Hey, it's the original Pokemon Snap! Now this I was definitely glad to finally get a hold of. This is the port of Resident Evil 2, and for those that don't know, this is probably one of the most impressive ports to the N64. Got myself Glover, Turok Rage Wars, Turok 2, the Great Kart version, and Turok 3. Now if I recall correctly, all the Great Karts of the Turok games are the patched version of the titles. For those that don't know, some of the titles had issues where there was glitches on the title, and their final retail release had those, so they patched it out in later releases through Great Karts. If you find the Rage Wars Great Kart, that's worth a lot. Hey, there's the first Turok. Ah yeah, Shadows of the Empire. This was one of the earlier titles of the system. It's also based off of a Star Wars franchise or merchandise thing that came in the 90s, where they tried to make a Star Wars property that didn't have anything to do with any movies and was never made into a movie. I don't know if Disney will ever adapt this now that they own the rights. I finally got 1080 Snowboarding, and a cool thing about this is the ROM for the Japanese and the US or North American version are the exact same, so both carts actually have identical ROMs. Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards. I finally picked up Mario Kart 64 again. Hey, it's Mario Golf, and then Mario Golf 64, the Japanese title. So one thing I find kind of neat is in Japan, just to distinguish between this and the Game Boy Color version, they actually called it Mario Golf 64. In the US, they just referred to both titles as Mario Golf, even though they're two different games on two different platforms. I'm also going to use this to segue into the rest of my Japanese collection. Now we have Ocarina of Time, which was the original one from my friend's childhood, Nigel. And you can actually see where he put DX on there because he loved wrestling at the time, and I think he still does. And then you have the Japanese title. I actually like the art style on both of these versions, even though this is kind of like a base gold background. But like the artwork on the Japanese ones is really impressive. Then we have Kirby 64. I don't remember the direct translation for this title to English, but I think it's something besides Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards. Also, the dude that owned it wrote all over it. I haven't bothered trying to see what that translates to. If anybody knows Japanese, please let me know. Hey, it's Mario Tennis 64, the Japanese release. I guess we'll end off the collection with the Mario Party series. I have Mario Party 1, 2, and 3, the Japanese releases. I don't really have the North American releases. I could have swore I had one of them, but I don't. So that's going to be on my list of top priorities if I find them. And there you have it. That's my complete collection. I really thought I would have more at this point, but in between my financial budgets and the fact that prices are going up, the COVID pandemic, and the fact that people are finding them and keeping a hold of them, and people are finding less and less loose ones, plus their age and other things cause some to get destroyed or forgotten or lost, so who knows how many of certain titles are fully out there. But I thought it was nice. Looking back at this and thinking that was 25 years ago about that the system came out, and I think about within the next year from that, it came to North America and I finally got to try it. It really blew me away, and I have lots of memories with friends and family and such not playing through all these titles, so I really definitely want to go for a complete, at least loose cart collection of all the North American and possibly Japanese games, but I don't know how likely that's going to be at the moment. That's one of the other reasons I got the Everdrive, is I want to play some of the Japanese exclusive titles, but I'll need a translation patch to do that. So I hope everybody liked this overview of my collection. I'll probably do a follow-up video within 1 year from now, not to the exact date, to the exact month, unless other things in life come up or I only add a few. Then I'll do an update video instead of a full overview. It really depends on what happens. I can't guarantee much more will be added, especially with everything going on in my personal life, the world at the moment, but we'll see where it goes from there. Alright, thanks for watching as always, and everybody out there stay safe. Ta-ta for now.